Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. And unfortunately, some real life stuff came last week, so I really did not have all that much time to play EVE Online. The war had something to do with that as well. Of course, I'm not going to risk mining in an orca under a war deck or transport hundreds of millions of ISK worth of stuff or produce a lot of stuff or anything like that. It's not really on the table during a war deck. So what did I do? I kept up with the blueprint copy business. Transporting blueprint copies in an interceptor is relatively risk-free, and those are still selling pretty damn well in Cheetah at the moment, so that's what I'm mostly focusing on during this current war deck. On the war front itself, things are calming down substantially. Sue Abbott is still in Dital pretty much every evening, but other than that, I'm not seeing any activity from the war deckers anymore, so we'll see how long this will still keep going. This is the second week of the war deck, and yeah, we'll see how that evolves. But personally, I think that at one point in a war, if you don't want it to continue anymore, your best strategy is to just try and avoid giving them more content, avoid giving them a reason to keep paying more ISK to keep the war going. And that's basically what I've been doing last week. I was forced into it a little bit as well because of how busy it was, but other than that, we'll see how I have to evolve my strategy if the war goes for a third week. Next up we have Homeworld Deserts of Karak. So I'm playing that game. I'm trying to make one video every evening. That didn't work out, but I'm still doing my best to play that game pretty regularly. I'm also not rushing through this one like I did with Doom. I feel like I can take my time, and I also feel like it's easier to treat this as an episodic thing because every mission of course has to load up, and you get some exposition in between the different missions. So far it's pretty good. The game works, of course. That's always one of those things that's very important to me in any game, that we don't have too many crashes, too many bugs and things like that. And on that front, it's a very good RTS in my opinion. It works really nicely. It has some very interesting extra little features as well, such as the terrain height, the smoke cover, the different ranges, the typical rock paper scissor formations are there as well. But so far, you know, it's working really well, and I'm enjoying the campaign, I'm enjoying the story, so I do look forward to playing more Homeworld Deserts of Karak and to bringing you guys the entire story on the channel. Hopefully it'll work out. Next up, we have Stellaris. So I still played a decent amount of Stellaris. I'm actually a little bit surprised by how much I've played it. And the reason is, I think, because my single player game is going really well. I've been able to become superior to most other races, except of course for a few of those fallen empires. But that does mean that you're basically in a really good position to just consolidate, build up, improve your research, improve your army, and work in all of that in a casual way, just like you would build up maybe a bandaged city or something like that. So that was really the vibe that I managed to get from Stellaris so far, and what basically got me there was my new way of expanding my empire. It is on the normal difficulty settings, so I'm pretty sure that you can get much more hectic and difficult games if you go looking for them. But what has worked out really well for me is to max out my army at all times. Then if my army is maxed out, I go for a second colony or for a next colony. On that colony, I immediately build a star base and fully upgrade that, and then again we'll have some room to improve my military, max out the military once again, and I only then go for a next colony. Basically, if you overextend the number of colonies, then the enemies around you are going to try to pounce on you and punish that. But if every colony immediately has a fully functional star base, they're going to hesitate to throw their military at a 1400 power structure or something like that. Of course, at some point they become decently irrelevant when you have 10k armies. It's a little bit different, but by then, with this strategy, I've become superior to most of the neighbors, and in fact at this point I'm superior to almost the entire galaxy, except, as I've said, those fallen empires. So that growing tactic seems to work out really well. It seems to keep you in the driver's seat when it comes to military power and war declarations, and as a result it's worked out really nicely, and I've basically been able to continue growing my empire in Stellaris in a pretty casual and relaxed way. I did see one NPC fleet commit suicide on the active ring world. That was quite interesting, so I may need to build up a little bit more until I decide to attack that for myself, but since it is in my influence I don't really care. If they get on top of the ring world, then I can just start colonizing it myself anyway, so we'll see how that keeps going. One thing though is I am pretty much boxed in by other people that have become pretty big in size, but not in military. So we'll see if I decide to go on a military campaign or not. But yeah, Stellaris is definitely a very fun game, and I'm having a good time with the current playthrough in there. And then finally we've got Diablo 3. So I only started playing Diablo 3 this weekend because the Season 9 started. So I've decided on a Witch Doctor, really a lot of fun. Unfortunately, maybe I'm already starting to get back into my previous Witch Doctor build. So it's definitely something that becomes an easy habit once you find a build that you enjoy and that is decently powerful. I think that I'll tend to just grab back to that one. But at the moment I'm still leveling up, right, trying to reach level 70. Then I'll get a few pieces of a set, and it looks like it's a completely different build that you'll need to do around the set that you get there. So I do look forward to trying a different type of Witch Doctor once I'm level 70. But to level up, yeah, lots and lots of AoE is what I've found to be working the best. And of course, you just go through that in adventure mode, so that still seems to work the best, so that you can get all the resources needed for Kenai's Cube. I haven't really noticed a lot of changes on the Diablo 3 front at this point. It was the 20th anniversary, and so there were some celebrations, but I must have missed most of that. At the moment, the experience in Season 9 is just like any other season. Create a character, go through to level 70, then try to grab the entire set, and at that point you'll have all the rewards, a new pet, a new frame, and I don't think you get any wings or something like that this week. This season, but yeah, I do enjoy Diablo 3 once in a while, and I do look forward to the Necromancer class coming out later this year. So at first I thought it would be like another expansion or something like that, but it looks like they're just gonna add an extra class to play with, and that does I think entice me. I do want to try that out. I look forward to playing with a different class in Diablo 3. I've played all of them except Monk extensively. For some reason Monk just doesn't really vibe all that well with me, but a Necromancer, that is something that I definitely want to try out, even just as a new character, or maybe on another season. So that looks pretty damn good. As you know, Diablo 3 is a Blizzard game. You get that Blizzard polish, you get that very smooth experience. It just works, and it's a lot faster than Path of Exile. Of course, you do get through a season in like a week or something like that, and not even playing all that hardcore. So if you're looking for that dungeon raiding experience but you don't have all that much time, honestly, I would go for Diablo 3. I really do think it's a pretty damn good game. And that's going to be it for this Sunday recap, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.